So Pam and Mike, 40 years ago, you pledged your love and commitment to one another. You promised to love, honor, comfort, and keep one another, and to be with one another in sickness and in health, in times of want and times of plenty, for better or for worse, for the rest of your lives. You've had and done all of those things, and you have been side by side as you have created a home, a life together, a family, and made significant contributions to the communities of people in which you live. And so today, at the beginning of another decade, as husband and wife, in the presence of God and your family and friends, you have chosen to renew your vows to one another. And so, Mike, this is your vow for Pam. Pam, I renew and affirm
Pam, I renew and affirm
my marriage vows to you,
my marriage vows to you,
pledging my enduring love to you,
pledging my enduring love to you,
and eagerly awaiting
what
life will bring us
in
the years ahead.
ahead.
And Pam, your vow for Mike. Mike, I renew and affirm
Mike, I renew and affirm
my marriage vows to you,
my marriage vows to you,
pledging my enduring love
pledging my enduring love
to you,
and
eagerly awaiting
what
life will bring us
in
the years ahead. Let us pray. Gracious God, we pray for Mike and Pam and give thanks that you have brought them together and have blessed them in their years of marriage. Continue to bless them all the days of their lives, so that in marriage they may be an ongoing source of blessing to each other and to all, and live together in holy love until their lives end. We also ask your continued blessing on their children and their families as they express your love and your life in the world. And the blessing of God Almighty, creating presence, redeeming Christ, and life-giving Spirit be with you all, now and always. Amen.
Amen.
Go in peace and love. But before you go,
Yeah.
you could have a kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
First of all, thank you for everyone that attended. And I think it's remarkable. Somebody said, Dominic said, that all the people that are standing up there were at your wedding. So, yes. So thank you for being here 40 years later. Before I get started, a couple voices I heard while this evening was starting. First of all, my father-in-law, Bert Parson, I could hear his voice this morning goes, do I got to pay for this? And then, sorry for my language, my dad always would use this one typical cuss word. He goes, shit, Fran, I thought they were already married. So I heard that, but I tell you what, both the moms are definitely here. You can see it all around. Pam's mom, you guys read about the dresses and stuff. Both our mothers would have loved to be at this event. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I was only asked to do one simple thing, is to write Pam a letter. Gosh.
I'm sorry.
Yep. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. So I go, look, the only thing you have to do is write a letter. And I said, I'm a builder. I can build you something. I'm good with my hands. But anyway, I think it turned out pretty good.
Okay.
Pam, when I sat down to put these thoughts together, I was flooded with thousands of memories and moments that make up this amazing life we live. I mean, how does one fit 44 years of love into one letter? Our life is so much more than I could ever hope for. It's almost like when you find a book you cannot put down, and it doesn't matter that it's 1 a.m. and you have to be up in a few hours because it's just too good to stop reading now. That's how I feel about the story you and I have written together these past 40 years. It's a book I never want to put down, and I never want it to end. At the beginning of the story of ours is a young man who awkwardly asked a pretty girl for a good luck kiss before a football game.
True.
I don't know what I was thinking. I knew you were way out of my league, but I knew I had to take the chance. Not long after, I mustered up the courage to ask you to a dance, and shockingly, you agreed. Even more shockingly is that your mom agreed to make you a dress to match my leisure suit. But that was how you're perfect. Thank you, Sandy. But that was how your family was. They made me feel welcome into their lives immediately. As our 1-month dating anniversary approached, my mother told me I need to buy you a rose. I didn't question her judgment. I just followed her orders and brought you a rose every month for the first 6 months. I can hear my mother's voice in my head now. If you're dating longer than 6 months, she must get jewelry.
That's true, too.
And so I gave you my class ring and asked you to go study at the Rocky movie. The next few chapters of our story bring with them both fear and romance. I'll admit I was terrified to lose you as you went away to college. While you're only 2.5 hours away, it felt like you were on the other side of the world. Your studies kept you busy, and I was starting a business with my family and saving up for our future I wanted to build with you. So I vowed that I would do everything in my power to keep, I would do everything, So I vowed that I would do everything in my power to keep our love alive. We wrote multiple letters every week, scheduled time on the phone calls, and you even managed to sneak me into your all-girls dorm to spend the night once.
Senior year.
Those times were hard, and we counted down the days until we could truly be together again. That's when our story heats up quite a bit. We got engaged, then we built a house and welcomed our new baby daughter home within 5 years. I have to admit, I didn't know the first thing about caring for a baby, but I married a nurse, so I knew beyond a doubt that you would know exactly what to do with our children. Looking back, I'm sure you were nervous too, but you never let it show. Your ability to care for our children is completely unmatched, and we welcomed our second daughter 2 years later, and then our son 5 years later after that. The fear and the worry I once felt completely washed away. I couldn't have been more right about my instincts that you were going to be a good mother. Together we raised 3 happy, successful children, and so much of their kind and caring natures have come from you. I knew when I met you how wonderful a wife and mother you would be, but watching you raise our children and experiencing your love and commitment to our family has been something entirely. It's impossible to find the right words to capture the depth of our love. This is one of the many reasons you make such a good nurse, because I know how important nursing has been to you over the years. I'd be remiss to skip a chapter on your nursing career. Just a few weeks ago, I looked up the definition of nursing and of what qualities are central to being an effective nurse. Here are just a few: people skills, reliability and flexibility, honesty, trustworthiness, and communication skills. Anyone listening to that list would probably assume that I was describing you. You're one of the most reliable and flexible people I know, stopping at nothing and dropping everything to help someone who needs you. You're honest and trustworthy, and you've proven countless times that you are someone I can rely on to push me to be my best self. And of course, you must have good communication skills. You live with me. I can't think of anyone who fits the nurse description more perfectly than you. You were born to care, and everything life you have touched has been made better just by your presence. As our story continues, we see chapter after chapter of family traditions, like big family Christmases and listening to music while catching up over old traditional jigsaw puzzles. It's incredible to watch our granddaughters' eyes light up whenever they find a new puzzle piece on the floor and spend time surrounded by a big extended family. And it is you who is teaching them the importance of those traditions. Some of the best chapters of our story revolve around our shared sense of adventure. One of my favorite chapters of our trip to Yellowstone National Park this past summer, though you were a little hesitant, I convinced you to go kayaking at night out on the lake in less than ideal weather. Not long after we got kayaks into the water and paddled out to the center of the lake, the skies opened up and we found ourselves surrounded by the wrath of a massive Yellowstone thunderstorm. We paddled harder than we have ever paddled in our lives to the shore and quickly found shelter under a grove of tall trees. As we caught our breath, we made eye contact, and I said, "How alive do you feel right now?" You just smiled and gave me that look that told me you felt more alive than ever. That feeling, that rush of feeling alive, it follows me every day, because every day with you makes me feel alive. You have this way of surprising me on a regular basis, whether it be with your ability to plan incredible trips around the world, biking with me, or buying me a Corvette for my birthday.
That was a good one.
I never cease to be amazed by your big heart, unconditional love. Being married to you is a little like the game Wordle. It's addictive. It gives me something to celebrate every day, and it keeps me on the edge of my seat, especially when you're down to the last guess.
I can't believe you brought up Wordle. That's funny.
Pammy, you're the most dependable, thoughtful, and loving person I know. If you asked me 40 years ago if I'd be standing here today, married to a worm farmer, I may have believed you. Even then, I knew that your ability to care for anyone, everyone, from our children, parents, relatives, friends, our cats, dogs, chickens, lambs, horses, and yes, even a barrel full of worms was rare. After all these years, you are still the one I love, the only one I dream of. You're still the one I kiss goodnight. Thank you, Shania Twain. You know me better than anyone else in the world, and yet you still manage to love me unconditionally. You are my best friend, my one true love, and I'm beyond lucky to keep writing this beautiful story with you. I know you worry when I go mountain biking, especially late at night on those Santa Barbara trails with Luke, Brian, and Kevin, because you always ask me, do you love what you're doing? And I know you're only asking because you want to make sure that if something happens to me, you know I went out something I love. I know what I did. I don't know what I did to find someone that's such an amazing partner in life, but I am eternally grateful for the life that we have built, and I want to reaffirm our vows today with a few new additions. I promise to be more optimistic and try looking at the glass half full. I promise to be more flexible when it comes to getting out and a routine and socializing. Getting out of the routine is tough. I promise to continue traveling and adventuring with you. I promise to stand by your side as we watch our granddaughters grow up, and maybe when we are much, much, much older, we can learn to play pickleball. As I have said to you many times, I've been getting lucky for 40 years, and I honestly couldn't imagine a better life than one we're written together, and I can't wait to see what we write together next. I love you.
All right.
Thank you, Papa.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Love you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Okay.
It's all right. So when I asked Mike to do this, I didn't think he would write 4 pages. So I'm going to be put to shame.
That was a
Mine
big
is
font
short and
size.
Sweet.
Mine was big
But
font.
it's also so that I don't cry too much. So, but we did write each other a lot of letters. I've spent the last 3 weeks, I think, putting a binder together of all our letters from college. And oh my God, I can't believe the stuff we wrote. Multiple poems. So, crazy. But for tonight, my one and only Michael, when I think of our love story together, the word that won't leave my mind is how thankful I am that we found each other and that we held on. The love and thankfulness I feel in my heart for the life we have been privileged to share with each other and our family is overwhelming. I wish it was a more romantic word, but thankful encompasses all those other flowery words. I'm so thankful for your romantic and thoughtful gestures through our lives, setting an example of how to love for our children, their spouses, and for our grandchildren. For your strength and determination, which has helped all of us achieve so much more in life than I ever expected. I am grateful that you are so caring and loving of me, most especially. You make me feel special and prized every day, and that gift has made me a more confident, capable mom, nurse, friend, daughter, and nana. We have been each other's backbone when the other has felt weak, and that supportive strength and your ability to make me and those around you laugh has seen us through the challenges of raising a family, which was easy, the struggle of keeping a family business going, which was harder, and the heartbreak of losing our parents and Mark, which was the worst. But thank you, Michael, for loving me every day with both your grand gestures, like bringing 2 tiny Siamese kittens to our rehearsal dinner as my wedding gift, and the scavenger hunt birthdays, along with the small gestures like making my coffee every day, making the kids' lunches for 20 years, and holding my hand. It is both the grand and the small, and everything in between that has made the last 45 years so magical. I promise you today, as we enter our 40th year of marriage, that I will be here for you and with you through the easy and difficult times to come. I can make that promise so easily because my love for you now is so solidly ingrained in my soul that there is nothing that could tear me from you. And even if our worst fear is realized someday, which is that we'll come to a time where one of us doesn't recognize the other, be confident and strong, knowing that our souls are joined in love until our dying day. One memory that has stayed in my head these past months leading up to today is the first time I ever remember meeting you. You insist it was when I was following you around the drugstore because I thought you were a shoplifter. But it was actually prior to that. It was spring of our freshman year, and we crossed paths outside Mr. Frias's English class, and Leanne and Julie Jernak stopped to talk to you and their current crush, Gabe Ruiz, and introduced us. And I remember looking at you and thinking, wow,
Really?
he's cute, and all that entails when a shy 14-year-old girl meets a cute boy for the first time. You're terrified. Who knew? Oops. You okay, Nor?
Take a break.
Only 2 years later, we would be going steady. In 7, we would get married. And then after surviving our college years, we would be married. And then 40 years later, we would be so immeasurably blessed with our 3 children and 5 granddaughters. What a gift the last 45 years have been, so the rest is truly gravy. But the greatest gift of all has been living this life with you. Thank you for loving me and making all my dreams come true. Thanks.
Oops.
Nope.
That was so nice.
I'm sorry, Mike. So sorry. Okay. So now, for everybody else, let's do a toast.
Yeah.
Ready? Get a glass.
Yes, you
No,
can say.
not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, we want to thank you for coming to our party. I'm giving the toast tonight because this whole party idea was
Let's leave it.
mine. Was mine to start with. Mike, believe it or not. And it grew from there. So when I was getting ready for this, I was trying to think of a clever way to sum up this day. And I was haunted by my dad and grandfather, who you might know were both pharmacists. So they must have decided to send me a message, and here is what I came up with one sleepless night. Mike and I wish for all of you this potion that we have found to work for us in our life together. Put together a gram of honesty to help wade through the world's baloney. Combine it with a tablet of empathy to combat selfishness and a serum of steadfastness and loyalty to balance out the roller coaster of life. And you have a really good tonic to get you through. But then add a hot tablespoon of passion to counter boredom to the pound of love required for navigating couplehood, and pack all of this into a capsule made of laughter and humor to counter life's inevitable sorrow. And with this, you will have a prescription that we hope will bring you the happiness we have shared this past 40 years. Cheers.
Cheers. Wow.
Mom and Dad, congratulations on 40 years. You have been the North Star on how to foster and embody true love and commitment. I've been lucky with a front row seat to all of it. And while it's not a perfect fairy tale, you made it look pretty effortless. Thinking about what it is that I idolize about your relationship, I can look at it both from a child's point of view and now from a married mother's point of view. As a child, the security of coming home to people who you knew loved each other was like a warm blanket of joy and contentment. The love you had for each other wrapped us with security and allowed us to grow up without fear or uncertainty. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of adventure, and a lot of patience. I look back at the things you would do for us without it looking like a major amount of work that it was, and it fills me with gratitude and amazement at how you did it all. The trips we took, the time at the lake, the life you built for us at Cantata. It was a wonderful way to grow up, and I cannot thank you enough. I'll never forget when Oprah had a series on her show that had the most romantic husband segment, and we tried to get Dad on for it. Seeing how a husband could treat their wife as the most precious, desired, and special person set the tone of my expectation for men in my future and helped me wait to find the perfect someone. Seeing my mom balance motherhood, work, and marriage without truly batting an eye made me strive to be like her when I grew up. Thank you for setting the bar high, and thank you for continuing to be role models for my girls. As a mother and wife, I see how you have held each other up throughout your marriage, supporting each other's wild dreams, shouldering stress and sad times together, fostering and encouraging each other's passions, whether it's travel, triathlons, gardening, renovating, skiing. You make it fun and you make it important to support each other. You both have shared qualities of selflessness, responsibility, motivation, kindness, and you each show them in your unique ways, fixing people's electrical, giving people medical advice, offering to help others, and while your talents are special on their own, they are even more powerful when you do them together. You make an amazing team, and I am truly in awe of both of you. I love that you have instilled family and time together as an important priority. Thank you for continuing to make me and my family a priority in your life and supporting our dreams and ambitions. 40 years on, you continue to create a beautiful life together and share your love with the people in your circle. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I know. This is kind of a surprise for many people, including myself, because Mike asked me about 4 months ago to put a few notes together for him to share.
True
and
story.
then I showed up on Monday and he said, hey, why don't you do it? So thanks, Mike, for giving me your homework. So I'm just going to read what I wrote for Mike. This is a surprise to Pam, who had no idea that I'd been asked to do this. So I'm a college roommate, and so I've been friends with Pam and Mike for 44 years. When Mike asked me to write something for the ceremony, I was pretty stumped and a bit emotional. I know how special our friendship is, but I had really never reflected on it. And I thought about it for weeks, what to write. And then I listened to a podcast about gratitude. Now, for those that know me, you're like, she did what? Because it's an odd topic for me to listen to. But the part of the podcast that resonated with me was what gratitude means. Technically, it means being thankful. And I am thankful and grateful for both of them in my life. I know that I'm a better and a more complete person with them in my life. My husband, Charlie, and I are both grateful and thankful that we have known them through so many different phases in our lives. We are a better couple and better parents because of the friendship and their influence. I thought back to all the things we have experienced together. Sometimes just Pam and I, sometimes all four of us, and sometimes our entire family. Pam, Mike, and I survived college, sorority functions, and sometimes being roommates with Pam meant being that Mike was our roomie as well. We have experienced young love, shared getting married, adjusting to married life. We became parents and learned how to parent, the good and the not so good moments. But we've shared frustrations about spouses, kids, parents, jobs, and life in general. We've shared the sorrow of losing people close to us. We've had the pain of losing pets that were such a part of our family. We've given advice to each other when solicited and unsolicited. We've vented about politics, economics, climate change, health concerns, and many other topics. We kind of tried to take frequent family trips together. I went through and tried to figure out how many trips we'd taken, and as families or just together as couples or sometimes we've traveled to 17 states, 4 countries. We've traveled via planes, trains, automobiles, RVs, ATVs, bikes, rollerblades, horsebacks, and many a mile walking. Rollerblading, that was a while ago. The part that makes me most grateful is that Charlie and I and our children have been really influenced by the way in which Pam and Mike treat each other and other people. None of us are perfect. And I have a mental list of all the irritating things that Mike does and all the things that he says that drives Pam nuts. And she has the same list for me. But we also know that we care so deeply for each other that we only want good things to happen. I found a quote from Maya Angelou that sums up our feelings. And Maya Angelou was special to Pam and I in college because we sponsored her to come to our college. And the quote is, "I've learned that people will forget what you have said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Pam and Mike make us feel very grateful for friendship. So happy anniversary.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one